Okay, we are live. Good evening. My name is Attorney Vince Davis, and this is The Secret: How to Fight CPS and Win. I'm joined by my co-host, Miss G, Miss Georgette Truen. Miss Truen, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good, and we're joined by a very special guest, Miss Kira Myers.
Yeah.
Hello, Kira. How are you?
All right. How are you?
Where are you calling in from? What state?
California.
Oh, you're in California. What
Yeah.
part?
Sacramento.
Oh, okay. So you have cases up there at the court on, what is that? Power Inn Road? Is that where it is?
Yeah.
I have done many cases in that building. So what's going on with you and CPS in Sacramento?
My daughter. I've raised my daughter on my own since she was about 2. Her dad lives in a different state across the country, and he hasn't been in her life other than a year for the last few years. And unfortunately, recently I got into really badly abusive relationships that were physically bad. The first one, he was actually here when I had to call the cops on my ex, and he knew my daughter wasn't around anything like that, so it got cleared. And then recently, I had gotten out of a toxic relationship, and my ex got put in jail for 3 months. And when he got out, came to my mom's house and had to call the cops again. And so they called CPS on me. My daughter still was never around anything.
Is this the same guy? This big?
No.
Different men.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, who's the father of the children? Are they both you have children with both of them, or just one of them?
Neither.
We don't have any.
Not with the abusers, no.
Okay. So did the judge take away your kids because he or she thought that there'd be a problem with domestic violence?
She's still with me.
Okay.
Yeah, her dad, who lives in a different state across the country, is kind of working with CPS and saying he doesn't believe I'm a fit mom and that I can protect her, and that he now wants her, and she doesn't even know him.
Well, you know what? He can say anything he wants. He doesn't have any evidence.
Yeah.
Right? Got to have some facts, some evidence, some witnesses. So he can say anything, that you're not a fit mother, but that doesn't mean he's going to win, and that doesn't mean he's going to get custody of the child. You understand that, right?
Yeah. I thought that they were going to take her at her school. I think he's just kind of manipulating my emotions, to be honest, because
Well, wait a minute. Don't tell me you speak to him on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, well, are we surprised that he's manipulating you?
I was, because he's never cared to be in our life, you know?
Well, why do you even talk to him?
He was talking to me because of the whole CPS thing.
No, that's not my question.
Why do I talk to him?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, okay. I don't know.
Doesn't sound like a legal problem to me. Sounds like another type of problem.
So I should be fine with CPS opening the
investigation? Oh, they haven't opened a case yet?
Yeah, they have.
You've been to court?
No.
Well, how did they open a case and haven't taken you to court?
It's been really weird. Like, they contacted him and not me. They didn't contact my daughter's teacher or her daycare provider or anyone who's in her life, really. He gave permission for her to interview my daughter at school. I didn't know about that. And he had been getting in her head about things. And now she's like, saying, Mommy, I'm not scared. I want to be here. But she's already said something else because she was getting attention from him.
Mhm.
How old is she?
She's 7.
Hmm.
So he's brainwashing your daughter.
A bit, yeah.
Do you have any family law custody and visitation orders?
Yes, yeah. And it says like I'm supposed to be the primary. She's to stay with me other than 1 month in the summer.
Tell me something. Who has legal custody? Is it joint, or does he or you have legal custody of the child?
I think legal is 50-50, I believe, and then but the primary residence is me, I believe.
Well, that's why they contacted him to get permission to interview her, because you guys have 50-50 custody, legal custody.
Mhm.
So he can give, permission. That's kind of a, as Alexandria Napier says, they used him to go behind your back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you haven't been to court yet, right?
Mm-mm.
How long has the case been open?
I'm not entirely sure. I think she showed up at my mom's house. The worker did a few days later, and I tried contacting her, and she never got back to me. And then all of a sudden, now it's he's being contacted, she's being interviewed, and I called her 20 times today alone, and she's not responding to me at all.
You shouldn't call her though. I think you should not call her. That's what Davis says. You shouldn't do
Yeah,
that. You're showing yourself guilty already. You're showing yourself that you're scared.
I am scared. I'm
Yeah,
scared of losing her.
but what I'm saying is they're not your friend. They're not your therapist. They're not your family. They're nothing. When you show that you're fearful of something you didn't do, then you must have done something in their eyes because they're idiots, right? When you deal with an idiot, what do you expect?
Yeah.
So you shouldn't call her 20 times. You shouldn't do that. In fact, every attorney I spoke with, they said, do not open the door. Do not speak to them without legal counsel, hiring an attorney,
Mm.
and for the attorney to intervene on your behalf. Because people think because they're great parents, they're in the clear. They're not in the clear.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would not be suffering. We had a couple of people. Now they're TPR'd next week. Why? They spoke to me in 2021. They didn't want to hire because the mother thought she was great, mom, right? The father was like, no, 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 get an attorney, hire the attorney, and she wouldn't. So she took the money from the dad and bought a RV for like 30,000 or something like that. Now she's crying to me that she wished she would have hired. Get it?
Yeah.
So it's people think they're off the hook. You're not off the hook. You're very sweet. You're very innocent. You look very sweet to me. And, and they will literally take you and eat you for lunch.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, and Davis is here. I mean, if I'm wrong, he can tell me.
No, I agree with you. I mean, she's been working for me for a long time. She has learned a couple things. And what she just told you that's my belief, my general belief. Now, do I do that in 100% of the cases? No. Do I do that in 99% of the cases? Close,
Yeah.
right? If they had any evidence against you, you would not have your child right now. But they don't have the evidence against you. So you know where the evidence is going to come from?
Your ex.
No.
Me.
Yeah, from your mouth.
And your ex. Yeah.
That's not a joke. I'm saying, I'm being serious. I just got off the phone with someone, a client, and I said something, and they thought that I was joking, and I wasn't making a joke. It sounded funny, but it wasn't supposed to be funny. Okay, so if you continue to talk with them, she's going to continue to write, and guess what? She might misquote you a little bit.
Yeah, I've been trying to make sure I record every contact.
Wait, time out. It's illegal to record people in California without their knowledge.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I did not know.
it's a crime.
Okay, I have not been doing that then.
Okay. Right. And you can't use it anywhere.
Okay.
Somebody recently told me, "Oh, I've been recording all the conversations. Let me give them to you?"
Mm-hmm.
No, don't give them to me. That's illegal contraband.
Yeah.
That's like, hey, I just robbed the bank. Can you hold the $1 million for me? No.
Yeah.
I can't tell anybody that you did it, but I can't become a participant in what you've done. That's illegal. So
Mhm.
don't tape record people without them knowing.
Okay.
You have to get consent.
Now you
But
can get consent and tape record, but I
Mhm.
can tell you they're not going to give you consent,
Some
Right.
do.
especially Sacramento County.
Yeah, well, and she won't. She hasn't been returning my calls anyways. I'm more just trying to figure out like what exactly they're trying to.
Trying
She's
to
not
do?
even.
Well, they're trying to build a case against you so they can take the child away from you and probably send the kid back to wherever the father lives.
Mm-hmm.
They think, for whatever reason, that you're a bad, bad person
Mm-hmm.
and that the kid shouldn't be with you.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to help them, keep talking to them. Now, you must have some questions you want to ask me. And while you think of that, let me answer Alexandria's question on Facebook. Do they have to close a case within 30 or so many days if they can't get in contact with someone in California? I'm not sure I understand that question. Georgette, do you understand that?
Yes, I do. Her question is, if the case is 30 days, it goes
Mhm,
past 30 days.
mhm.
Does that mean the time ended in 30 days, or can they go past 30 days?
They can go past 30 days.
Right. That answers your question, Alexandria.
I've talked to people that have had cases being investigated for 90 days.
Yeah.
And if they file a case and take your kids away from you and you go to court and argue that,
Mm-hmm.
guess what? You get no love from the judge. No love.
Nope.
So, it's one of those things. People are always focusing on the law. The law is not as big and powerful as you think it is. It's the
And
fact.
if they misspelled your child's name in the court document, that's not illegal either. So if your child's name begins with a U and they put O, that's not a big deal. The judge is not going to be like, "Oh yeah, we're going to dismiss this case because one letter." Get it?
Yeah,
Um,
this is not a criminal case.
I
It's
know that
probably more important than a criminal case, but you have less rights.
you have less rights as a
Yeah,
parent, as a
you have
mom.
less rights.
Yeah,
So don't come up with a strategy that's relying on the law
because everybody protects the abuser. Everyone.
because you're going to be sadly mistaken.
Yeah.
But having said that, and having answered Alexandria's question, hey Alexandria, give me a like on Facebook, and everybody watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Helps me with the algorithm. But Kira, what are your questions for me? Tell me your first question.
She's going to visit her dad for like already agreed upon month in the summer, which was already, in 2020, we came up with a parenting plan or whatever, the visitation schedule. And he's just now, before this happened, planned this from July or June 12th till July 1st. And now he's trying to say that he wants to have her for the whole summer, even though,
You guys have a family law order?
yeah, it says 1 month.
And it says 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the case is in Sacramento County?
Mm-hmm.
Over there on Power Inn Road, right?
Yeah.
That's the family law and the CPS building, court building. So, I don't want to alarm you, but don't be surprised if he doesn't want to send the child back.
Even though the court, like the visitation thingy says only a month.
Yeah, what he's going to do, if I was representing him, this was the kind of strategy that I would have. Get the child, file in court that you're abusive or dangerous, or you keep making the wrong mistakes with guys, picking the wrong guys. And therefore, Judge, we have to change the custody and visitation because Kira just doesn't get it. Don't be
Like
surprised if that's the strategy.
Yeah. So then should I not? Because
No, you should obey the court order.
Yeah.
You should obey the court order. I'm not telling you to disobey a court order. If it's a court order, you got to follow it. But, you should probably be strategizing with some smart attorney about what to do if that comes up.
Okay.
Okay? Because if he really wants her, there is evidence that he has that he can use against you. Doesn't mean that he's going to win in every situation, but he's got his foot in the door.
Yeah.
And if there's an issue about, money or child support and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't like paying child support.
Yeah. That's the greatest incentive in the world that I've seen.
Yep.
For a guy to go out and change the custody and visitation order. Now, I'm not saying dads don't love their children. They do, right? But when there's that little extra money you got to pay that old ex, who I'm not with anymore, I gotta take the kid away from her.
Yeah, but if dad loves the children, wouldn't he respect the mother?
You're talking
love
about in a
is
perfect
a
world.
big thing. Love is a 4-letter word to some people, but in reality, love is when you love your children, you love their mother in a way where even if they're not together, that hey, you gave me those kids, thank you.
That's what I always said to him. I was like, I'll always love you
That's how it
because you
should
gave
be.
me my daughter.
Exactly.
And you don't care if
Exactly.
anything
That's
happens.
what love is. But unfortunately, love is taken in a different way with people. And it's like, I love you sometimes, but only when I want something from you. But kids is a major thing. Major thing. To me, it's respect. Respect the mother that kept those children safe in her stomach, right? For 9 months, and we go through hell. We go through hell in our pregnancy. But men, it's like they all go to the same school, same idiotic stupidity school where, man, let me tell you how you stop paying child support. Man, let me coach you, man. This is what I did. And they all like copy each other, right?
Yeah.
But that's how it is in society nowadays. Then they look at the woman, the state court looks at the woman as the weak link. She's not making as much as the man, right?
Yeah.
Because the man took everything she had and now she's broke, for example. Get it?
Yeah.
Then the woman is nothing. The mother is nothing. You don't even have to do drugs. You don't even have to beat your children. It's just you're guilty just because you're a woman.
Yeah.
And that's how it works in the state court. And that's how it works with social workers. They're not your friend. They will pretend to be your friend so they can get you to open up, so they can get you to speak. So that way, whatever you say, if you say, ma'am, I was 16 yesterday, for example, I just turned 16 yesterday. The social worker is going to write, the mother lied and said she's 26.
Mm.
You understand? They take it to that level of crazy. If you told them you're black, they'll say you're white. If you told them you're Nora Hernandez, they're going to say you're Jessica Morales. I mean, honest to God, I've seen it with my own eyes. The paperwork has the wrong complete names of people. So what they do also, they copy and paste cases, meaning they will go to Jessica Morales' case and copy paste it in your case. Sometimes they'll take the name out and sometimes they're stupid. They forget the name and put it in there. Then the client tells the judge, the mother tells the judge, this is not my name. This is not who I am. This is not, but the judge doesn't care. But like David said earlier, you guys are focused on the evidence and this, but you need an attorney. There is no second thought. This is the best time to get an attorney. I kid you not.
Hey, Kira, When you came up with that custody and visitation order with the father in family law court, did you have a lawyer?
No, he did though.
Okay. Well, listen, I'm going to tell you a secret, okay? I want you to connect with Miss G. Miss G has 2 things she's going to give you. She's going to email them to you. I wrote a book on how to win custody for mothers.
Okay.
Okay. And I wrote this book last year. I really wrote it during COVID because, I'm at home not doing anything. But it's a very valuable tool that you can look at.
Mhm.
I also have a book that's the title of this show, The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win. She's going to give you that as well.
Thank
Okay.
you.
So I suggest you look at those books to give you some more information. I'm telling you to look at those books and read them, not to represent yourself, but to
Mhm.
give you an idea what the issues are. See, everything in the law is, when you're in law school, is spotting the issue. You can look up the law or develop a strategy, but if you don't know ABC is an issue, you're going to be lost. You're going to be
Mhm.
beaten. Okay. Go ahead, Miss G.
One more thing. Do not sign a safety plan. They're gonna try to
Yeah, they
force
asked.
you and scare you and bully you. Do not sign it
Okay.
because they need your signature, and that's very important to them. Also, God forbid if it gets worse, in the court, and your court-appointed attorney tells you, admit to the guilt. Admit that you're a bad mom. Do not admit because he or she will say admit to it, and then I'll get your kids right back like today. Right? That's a lie. If it's that easy, right? Everybody would have got their kids, right? But they want your signature on a document so they can have basically a piece of paper saying you can't sue us. You admit to it. You
Yeah,
can't
they
sue us.
asked for me to sign a safety plan, but I held off
Yeah,
on it.
there
What
you
did
go.
the safety plan say? Did it say to give custody to the father?
No, it just said that we were at a safe house. I took the steps to keep her out of where he could find her, that I would keep them apart, that there's no contact with him, that kind of thing.
Right. Now, here's something that I've been noticing this, Miss G. Especially young women get themselves in these predicaments with the controlling, abusive guy.
Hmm.
See it over and over. So, you're not a unique case, so don't feel bad about it. But I see it over and over. And I don't, I'm not a psychologist or a social worker. I don't know why I keep seeing this over and over and over. But you're going to have to start paying attention to those things,
Yeah,
right?
I'm in counseling now for that
Okay,
specific.
good. Perfect. Perfect.
And so is
Well,
she, just in case.
yeah. Yeah. You got to start paying attention to those things because, to be honest with you, when I was, young 20s, um, I probably could be described as controlling and domestic violence issues. And then while I was an attorney in my mid 20s, I saw the result of O.J. Simpson,
Mm,
right? And the domestic violence there. And then society went on a zero tolerance domestic violence craze almost. In the old days when I first became a lawyer and started doing these cases, nobody even talked about domestic violence. Like, yeah, so what? He slapped the woman. Okay.
yeah.
You know, now after OJ, he slapped the woman. Oh my God. We have to put him in jail and we have to protect the child and the parent, the mother. So it's an issue now.
Yeah.
Okay. So be aware of those issues. I had to, being a young man myself, that's 40 years ago, you know, decided to go to counseling because I kept seeing these cases after that, domestic violence being a problem. You
Yeah.
know, I, truth be told, when I was growing up, I had a bad anger management problem, very bad. And I learned that from my father.
Yeah, it's generational for sure.
Yeah. And the funny thing is the funny thing. Years go by, I go to counseling, OJ Simpson happens, blah, 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 blah. And a guy that I grew up with came to work with me. And one day, after about a week, he comes into my office. Now, he knows the old me. And he says, "What have you done that these people here think you're the nicest guy in the world?" Because he remembers the old Vince, right? And I said, "Well, there was that anger management counseling that I had to go to, because I wanted to catch myself, because I realized, that I wanted to have children one day and get married one day." Yeah. So,
Unfortunately, both of them are my exes are both one's 40, just about 40
mhm,
now, and the other's 38 now.
yeah. So, I came to this realization, um, in my, I guess it was mid to late 20s, and I was listening to, post OJ Simpson stuff and what they were doing with domestic violence perpetrators. And I thought, you know, that could easily have been me, easily.
Right.
And I thought, you better get a hold of this before you end up in jail, because they're arresting these people now, domestic violence perpetrators. They're arresting them, they're putting them in jail. And I can't tell you, a very large portion of my cases involve domestic violence. You know, back in the 80s, they used to involve crack cocaine every other case, right? But now it's like domestic violence. And, we, as a society, we're becoming more educated about what it does to the participants and what it does to the children. Not a good thing. Not a good thing.
Mhm.
So I'm glad to hear that you're in counseling. Are you in some type of program now, shelter?
Yeah, I moved us into a safe house
Oh, perfect.
for DV victims specifically.
Great. So you're getting the counseling and you're getting the safety that you need. That's why the social workers haven't taken your children or your child away from you, because they don't have the evidence. You have remediated the problem. You're in a safe house. They don't know where you are, and you're getting the counseling. The child's getting the counseling.
Mhm.
They're there. They have their rules, their structure. So that's why you have your child, because you were smart enough to get into a safe house. You'd be surprised how many people in your position don't do that.
This is the first time I chose to do it, but
Right.
they let him out of jail after the last incident where the canine had to drag him out, and I was not going to mess around. I didn't want her to be
Right.
here anymore. I didn't want her
Did
to be
you,
where she could be involved in that.
did you get a restraining order against the guy?
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. Mm.
Can you text me your information on my work number? That's okay.
Yeah.
If I can just give it to you, it's 626-631-8901. And remind me to give you a name of an attorney in Sacramento.
Okay.
He handles juvenile dependency cases locally only. If you can't afford Attorney Davis to go there, you can. I'm going to have him on the show pretty soon, but he can help you. But I'll give you his
Mhm.
information. I just don't have his. I have his personal number. I don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. No, completely.
I'll ask him to give me his office number, and I'll give it to you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So, Miss Kira, do you have any other questions for me?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show and sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
Very much appreciated. If you have any questions, don't forget to give Miss G or myself a call, and
Okay.
don't forget to get those 2 books from Miss G.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for that
They're,
too.
they're not going to make you an expert lawyer, but they will give you information where you'll be issue spotting. You know what's a concern of the courts, of the judges, of the social workers. That will help you, work with any attorney that you hire.
Um, don't just hire any attorney.
Okay.
Please don't hire any attorney.
He's right. He's right.
Hire a juvenile dependency attorney that handled more than one case. Okay, obviously, way more than one. Like Davis, he has a coaching package, for example. He uses that to be able to walk the parents step by step what they need to do, what they need to file. So basically, you do all the legwork while he's your personal attorney in your pocket.
Okay.
You'll be able to text him, call him, whatever. But that's very important that you get the right attorney on your side, because from the beginning of the case, that's the most important part. We have an attorney, Michael, that was on our show, on not Michael, Davis's show. He's in New York, and he said the same thing. He said he will not take an old case, like he won't, because the beginning of the case, that's the most important part, because people don't think they're going to take their children, but they do. They literally do.
I didn't want to risk.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter if you're in a safe house or not. They're going to find a way. Their strategy is so demonic.
Yeah.
They know what to do. They know how to get you. They know what they want next. They're already 20 steps ahead of you, even if you're in a safe house. It doesn't matter.
Hey, Kira, there's something I want to tell you. I was just thinking about this, looking at the background of the room you're in, probably at the State House. I don't think even Miss G knows this. Years ago, I used to go around from organization to organization, like the drug counseling program, substance abuse, domestic violence safe houses. And a large number of these people would have legal issues with CPS or family law. And I used to do presentations to the group for free. And now, especially with Zoom, I used to do it in the Southern California area. Zoom wasn't a big thing back then. I don't even know if it existed back then. But if you talk to your counselor or the administrator there, I'd love to do a question and answer session for all the folks that are at the shelter that have family law, right? Family law or CPS issues, and we can do it on Zoom. And it'll just be us, me, Miss G, and whoever's on. I think on StreamYard, we're doing this on StreamYard. I don't know how many. I think it's 9 people or 12 people that can be on at one time.
10.
But on Zoom, I think we can have like
Lots.
50 or 60 people.
Yeah, a lot.
Right, and we have Zoom accounts that we do consultations on. So we can all get on Zoom, and everyone can ask me questions, and and I do that for 60 minutes, 90 minutes.
They would love that. I know they'd love that.
I'd love to do that. And Miss G, I think I should start doing that more with people, because it's something that I used to do. I used to do it a lot.
Then let's do it. Kira, you already have my. Did I give you my cell number? Oh my God, I'm getting old. Did I give it?
Yeah, I texted you.
Yeah. Oh, you did? That was quick. Okay.
Yeah, just saying it's Kira.
So Kira, set that up, that Q&A session with Miss G, and one day. It could be on the weekend, or it could be in the evening or something after I'm through with court or through with this show. We can just hop on and do a quick Zoom. And it's really great now that I don't have to drive. Because when I did it, I used to drive all over Southern California. I don't know if you're familiar with Southern California, but sometimes I'd be in LA County. Sometimes I'd be in Orange County, Riverside County, San Bernardino County. I'd be all over. And, because there's a lot of programs like the one you're in. And a lot of times people just don't know, because, they may don't have an attorney, or they can't get a hold of their attorney, and if they need to ask me questions. And a lot of times I can, send them these books that I've written. I've written quite a few books, and, Ms. G can email them out to you.
Yeah, no, I know all the girls there would love that so much. I mean, I've grown friends with them already, and they all are in the same kind of spot, different situations, but none of them deserve to have to be like lost or anything.
No. And now that everyone has their own mobile phone, they can log on to Zoom right on their mobile phone.
Yeah, they would love that. They would absolutely love that.
Everybody
I
can
want to
be in
start. I
different
want to
places
start.
in the house.
I was thinking also about starting a show about domestic violence and abusive behavior, and help young ladies. And I started doing this like about 4 months ago. So, but it's been on my phone mostly. So
I've
usually
been
start
researching
on,
domestic violence
yeah,
for
but
4 years now.
yeah, no, I would do it on the phone, like as in conversations, like three-way, and then three-way, another three-way, like that.
Yeah.
But I couldn't combine all of them together at once. So that was something I wanted to discuss with Davis, but I wasn't sure when was the right time to tell him. But I was thinking about it.
Okay, very
Okay.
good. Again, thank you, Kira, and
Thank you.
hopefully we will be in touch, and I can do that Q&A session for your house.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. They would all appreciate that so much. All
All righty. Good night, and thank you for coming on.
right. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, Miss G, do you have any questions for me in the last approximately 9 minutes of the show?
Yeah. When am I going to start that show? And when is Aquari going to start doing his shows?
He was doing a seminar. I didn't know this. He has his own company where he gives seminars to other attorneys. And today and tomorrow, he's doing a seminar for a bunch of attorneys on Zoom. So I don't want to bug him about it because, we're not paying him to do this. He's volunteering. And I think to do his seminar online, was a few $100. I thought it was well worth it, but a lot of people that I talked to thought it was expensive, but I thought it was a value.
How long is the seminar?
I think it was 2 days, like
That's not,
16.
that's so $200 for 2 days.
No, I think it was 495, something like that.
Isn't that cheaper than most?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I've seen seminars that's like 8,000, 5,000.
Yeah, it was definitely, in my mind, it was a good value. So I didn't want to, bug
I
him.
understand.
Where
I understand. But I guess, yeah, I guess we'll just, the people that's asking me about the show, I'll just have to let them know.
Yeah.
Just one
Okay.
there when he's available.
Any other questions for me this evening?
Um,
While you're looking, everyone that's watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe and contemplate becoming a member of the channel.
um, when somebody is going towards TPR in California, um, you mentioned today about a 388, a motion for bonding study, and relative placement motion. If the child is already placed in a relative placement, I mean, what's the point of relative placement motion?
You might want to change relatives.
Ah,
Because there's that relative that said they never would adopt the child, and then they, of course, are convinced by the social worker over the months to adopt the child. You might want to try to change the relative, to a new relative who won't adopt the child.
what if they want, the mother wants the child to, it's okay for the child to be with the mother, with the grandmother.
Then that's their decision. That's a personal decision.
But don't you think that they usually say that, and then the social worker always finds something wrong with the grandmother's home, and then they take the child into
Well,
possible?
I mean, that scenario comes up a lot, right?
But it does happen a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. It happens a lot.
okay. So I guess I want everyone to be aware, just because the child is placed with your grandmother or your mother or your father, whoever, family member, and they are getting approved for placement, at the last minute, the social worker will say something, something goes on, and they take the child away and put the child in a foster home. So, like I said, they have a demonic strategy. So be aware. Make sure that you educate other people as well, and that doesn't mean they're going to keep that child with the grandmother, because 75 to 80% of the time they remove the child because of either something is wrong with the home, or the grandmother had a record from 30, 40 years ago, or the house is not good enough for the child. And then they end up putting the child in a foster home with 1 bedroom and 6 kids. Okay. So just keep in mind, this not about the best interest of your child. It's about how long your child can stay in the system so they can keep collecting money. Bottom line. That's it. Okay? That's it. So I guess that's it. You can say goodbye now.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me tonight. And we'll be on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Pacific. And thank you, everyone, for watching. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Good
Good
night.
night.